Snyder told me you found a cavern.
Yes, Collins and her crew found one under the excavation site.
I'd like to go out and take a look.
No, there's no time. I ordered them to collapse it with explosives.
But this could be the only chance I get to make a study before we leave.
Oh, if you've seen one cavern, you've seen them all.
In 1848, the English ship the Valiant reported that these waters contain mysterious creatures of all sizes and types. One of these creatures measured almost 10 meters in length.
A Valiant report is pure speculation.
In the same area, in 1983, a sonar man aboard a U.S. Navy warship, the Matthew Rogers, reported sizable sonar contacts moving with incredible speed and agility.
Look, that's all very well, but what has that got to do with the cavern?
Operation Deepwell made 6 unsuccessful attempts to penetrate the Earth's crust right here in 1963. They lost one of the drill bits down in the cavern. They sent down 4 divers, and none of them returned.
What's your point?
My point is that we have no idea what type of marine life we're dealing with. You've got to let me go out there.
No, I'm too far behind schedule.
My work is just as important to me as yours is to you.
Miss Scarpelli, you're young, and you've worked very hard to get the opportunity to come here and do research.
Yes,
now, I'm sure you understand that sometimes, in order to get what we want, we have to make sacrifices. And one day, when we can prove to the Navy that a permanent colony can exist at this depth, we will conduct research into all areas of marine biology, including cave dwellers. Please. You'll have to excuse me.
Hello there, this is Ben Fournier, or Benevolent Cytocorum, and here we have the INTJ and INFJ contrast and comparison. Both have the same peripheral functions, the outsides, NI, SE, NE, SI, peripheral perceivers, having more access to perception functions than to judgment functions, because it's like 3 out of 4, because polar is almost unused or disregarded generally. So it's really how in socionics you have a lowercase letter for whichever one's up front, perception or judgment. So INTJ would be INTP like this, and INFJ is like that. But we're going with the more common format because, you know, it's like, why bother with making everything super special? Except for here, I don't like the term demon, which is off-putting. Extreme conveys the same sense without the needless alienation of sensor types, or those that would just see too much into it without purpose. Yeah. Here we have both having hero functions of introvert intuition, both going with what they want the most and their particular subconscious probabilistic insight. Not supernatural, but just like, instinctual kind of thing, where it's like even just aiming a projectile, tossing something, you can feel the path the projectile will travel, depending on factors that you are able to adjust for mentally, at least. If you don't know about how wind affects things, you'll find out, and then you can recalculate it, and it becomes instinctive after a while, too. But, yeah. That's sort of like how SI blends into NI after a while. Like, even seeing how a moving wheel can act on a chain kind of deal, which one physics professor called counterintuitive, but once you see how it behaves, you can expect it later, that kind of thing. Anyhow, NI first. So they're going to be the conspiracy theory types. The INTJ is going to be the FE polar conspiracy theory types, blunt and explaining things, whereas the INFJ is going to be less explaining and more polite. This is the main difference, same as with the INTJ and ISFJ, or the INFJ and ISTJ. You have TE parent versus TE polar. INFJs are going to be childishly strong with their particular methods and reasoning, and INTJs are going to be childishly strong with their particular likes and feelings and morals. INFJs are going to be parental about the ethics of the group and the feelings of others. INTJs are going to be parental about the reasoning of others and solving problems rather than just talking about the fifis kind of thing. Both have SE as their inferior or anima, and yeah, I'm going to splice in the clip of from Breaking Bad here. Hopefully enough got through the intro, which is from the movie Deep Star 6. So here's the clip from Breaking Bad showing both having SE polar. Or not polar, inferior.
I sat here yesterday waiting to meet with someone. I believe that person was you.
I think that you're confusing me for someone else.
I don't think I am.
Sir, if you have a complaint, I suggest you submit it through our email system. I would be happy to refer you to our website.
I was told that the man I would be meeting with is very careful, a cautious man. I believe we're alike in that way. If you are who I think you are, you should give me another chance.
I don't think we're alike at all, Mr. White. You are not a cautious man at all. Your partner was late, and he was high.
Yes. Yes, he was.
He's high often, isn't he?
So now back from that, you have one being more like an INFP in the NiFi loop stress mode, and one more like an ISTP in the NiTi loop stress mode. But both ISTPs and ISTPs are going to be more able to accept the reasoning of others, like in the clip of from, what is it, The Expanse, with Detective Miller being open to the reasoning of others kind of thing. INFJs are going to be more disregarding of the reasoning of others if it doesn't fit with their logical framework models, their methods, that kind of thing. And both I and INTJs are going to be kind of disregarding of the feelings of others, and we're blunt and direct, and they're going to be more informative. You know, this is a logical statement kind of thing, and caring about the feelings of others and all that sort of stuff. Parentally polite kind of deal. And informative statements are always going to use logic, like, we're out of milk. It's like, why are you telling me this? Is what a TE type is going to be like, TEFI. It's like, go get some milk. We're out of milk. Like, okay, you can get that too, you know. But, nope, go get some milk. We're out of milk. And I'm telling you this because I want you to be the one to do it. But yeah, both are going to make up for their polar functions with their inferior functions generally. Like the INFJ, the character Scarpelli in Deep Star 6, providing factoids that fit the regression line trend, you know, like statistical regression, where it's like, you know, of course, like sensor types will be you drew the line first and then plot the points. Sometimes you see the line first, and that's what NI hero types do, is they see the line first. Of course, it is like anchoring bias, and you have to still be willing to accept possibilities outside the trend that you think you see. But, yeah, either way, making up for TE polar with providing factoids, and the factoids usually go with SI, but it's just like data gathering observation can also be like sharing a ton of data kind of thing, or being fearful about sharing data, as in the clip from Breaking Bad. But yeah, both here have any as the source of worries. They're going to be both sort of paranoid, not fully like an any inferior grip stress type deal for ISTJs and ISFJs, but it's still going to be a source of worries, unvalued, not fear, but worry. A step less than fear, but still there. And INTJs, unlike INFJs, have TI as their critic function. Both going to be critical of logical frameworks, because no matter how, complex and precise a logical framework may be, it can still be wrong. You have the axioms wrong somewhere, it's going to be a monkey wrench in the machinery. And it'll break down at some point, even if it's useful. Like Bohr's model of the atom, it isn't perfect, but it still can be useful and make useful predictions. Even the plum pudding model before it still was useful within its limited range. But yeah, the more close to true it can be, the better it is. Although, the more you look at something, the more complex it gets, like the quantum mechanical model and stuff like that. INFJs are going to be critical of their own feelings and morals. It's not as much that I can relate to, but that would be how it would fit this anyway. They're going to be valuing the feelings of others in social harmony more than their own feelings and morals. So it's like the whole personally pro-life but politically pro-choice kind of stuff, which is kind of nonsensical, I think. But yeah, it's how some do it, though, unfortunately. But I'm for right to life, and that's both protecting helpless babies and adults as well. Like, we shouldn't be just thrown out to the wolves as soon as we're adults, kind of deal. There should be proper safety nets, and it shouldn't just be valuing life by the wallet and hoping everyone that's weak perishes kind of crap. Both economic Darwinism and other forms of eugenics are bad, regardless however glorified one may be. But anyway, INTJs have FE polar, not really caring about the feelings of the group, caring about their own morals more, so we're going to be blunt and say things that hurt people's feelings just because everyone that's FE will tend to be about their feelings than the potential hurt feelings of others more. INFJs are going to be more like that, but not quite as bad as an ENFJ or ESFJ even. ESFJs with SI in their ego or valued functions are going to be more Karenish with the SI, since customer-minded about that. But INFJs are going to only value their SI in extreme mode, like INTJs having more PSTD, like pessimistic nostalgia rather than optimistic nostalgia. I mean, I do sort of like some things from the late 90s before my dad died of lung cancer, and I had gone through physical abuse for a few years right afterward. But early 90s were actually not super bad, except for bullies at church and other stuff like that. But yeah, either way, the SI, the customer, isn't going to be super focused on. INFJs are still going to be worried and, well, not worried. They're going to be parental about the feelings of others, caring about that. And in social situations, they might try to set up things more and use SE data along the lines that go along with whatever their NI plans may be for social harmony-based strategies. INTJs are going to be more about solving problems, being general-purpose fixers in ways. But yeah, TE polar is kind of a pain. That is the main point of conflict. TE polar and FE polar, these are ways that INFJs will not get along so well. It's just like with ISTJs and, well, it's ISTJs and INFJs. These are the same judgment functions between ISTJs and INTJs are here, and ISFJs and INFJs are here. So yeah, FE will default to FI, TE will default to TI, but both are going to be grumbly about it. Having the same judgment functions in ego will maximize compatibility more, whereas this is sort of like deferring but begrudgingly kind of deal. Anyhow, I think that about says it. But yeah, not quite the perfect match, but both are going to be open to speculation and have the same kind of SE fear and aspiration type deal. And both not really caring about the rules, but when they're, in situations where it's like, here's the rules for you. Although, some some supervisors, like the last one I worked with, would often be hypocritical about things, not really caring to follow the rules themselves. And there's other INFJs that are better than that guy. He just ticked me off at the last time there. But, not wearing uniforms himself, but forcing everyone else to follow the rules just for the sake of it. And the whole phone usage thing, where he'd watch, like, what is it? I saw him watching the show The Office, in The Office even, throughout most of his shift, but occasionally he'll go around and act the ISTJ, even though he's not an ISTJ. But there's better INFJs than that. Some are cool, some can be like that. But that's, everyone has faults and failures. Everyone has right and wrong, but there's good and bad people of every type. So, like, Jesus is commonly typed an INFJ even, although so are others that would probably get my YouTube video blocked if I mention their name. But there's good and bad, and the FI-FE thing is begrudging, so is TTI. I don't know what else to say here. Anyway, take care everyone, and try not to go crazy.